Say hey, everyone, and welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Alongside me, a sight for sore eyes. Moose Money back on the Pup Sports Radio airways. Moose, how are you? I like your hat. You've had a nice weekend.
Woo! Jose, nice doesn't even begin to describe it. It's got to be very similar to the feelings you had as a Red Sox fan when you guys finally broke through in 2004. Just all that, oh my God, this can actually be like a legit sports title area and not just a place that some people like to go and watch a few sports games. So it means the world to us in San Diego. But more than that, moving on from that, I'm here for you guys. Let's get this MLB card. Tough slate today. Ton of lefties. I know you like that, Jose, but let's get some cash.
Yeah, by the way, Moose, just a reminder, I was 7 years old in 2004. So, yeah, I definitely felt that way. It was just the long years of struggling and finally getting that breakthrough, it was nice. But shout out to you, Moose. It's nice. Also, Moose, shout out to you. I know you didn't play your baseball game, but you're an active adult baseball player. So, shout out to you. I always respect it. And I went through our DMs yesterday because they're sending you a message or whatever, and I saw the video of you throwing a Pepco again, and it warmed my tummy.
Oh yeah, that was one of the best videos I got, and I was able to actually execute the pitch, which is rare. You have those moments where you try to set things up with a video, and then you just have the ultimate fail. I actually executed the pitch. You could actually see like a legit two-seamer, and that used to be like my go-to pitch. That and the changeup.
Beautiful. Look at that little Moose Money action. I just try to throw strikes, Moose. That was my go-to pitch. Shout out to everyone rocking and rolling with us, like D Jenkins is saying here. Let's start off this day hot. Mr. Vape, Justin McIlvey or McIvy, if you think he's Irish, Craig Wood, D Jenkins, like I mentioned. You guys, Brown, Hughes. Shout out to Big Show Picks. Big Show Picks, by the way, on fire. We'll see you, Big Show, with these player props. You keep pulling them together. You did it on Thursday. You did it again yesterday. I see you, Big Show. I see you. Rocco Rogers, a.k.a. Rocco Rogers, but his name will always be Rocco in my head. Let's start getting into it, Moose. A quick recap of yesterday. It was fine. 2-3-1. Another losing day, but we're figuring it out every day. 4-11 minus 7 units early, but it's a 162-game season, so I am not particularly concerned yet. But let's start the winning today. Let's start it with a, maybe a shit game, but it's been profitable for people back in the Tampa Bay Rays here against the Detroit Tigers. Shout out to Big Show, the aforementioned Detroit Tigers fan here. I am, it's tough to bet these games, really. Minus 250 is always a conundrum here. And I really like Jeffrey Springs on the field. Off the field, he's kind of a prick. But on the field, I can see why you want to back him. He's a good lefty in their first battle of two lefties right here. But ultimately, I pass on this game. There was just nothing appealing for me because everything was so juiced. I will say, a good story for Jeffrey Springs. He went from relief pitcher to starting pitcher and then picked up a cool 4-year extendo as well. So shout out to him, setting up his family, even though he might be a douche. He had one start against Detroit last year, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, I should say. None of them earned. So make of that what you will. And then Joey Wentz on the other side only had 7 starts, and he's kind of filling in for Michael Lorenzen, who pulled his groin apparently. Pitchers run, if you guys didn't know, and that's how he pulled it. So shout out to him. But ultimately, I had nothing on this game. I'll be interested to see if Joey Wentz can step up and try to win a rotation spot. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Rays just went out here and just took care of business, got the opening weekend. I think they'll probably play 4 games. I'm not sure, but they'll get a potential sweep here and just keep rolling on.
Yeah, I wish I had more faith in Wentz. I'd be all over the under here. I was trying to get on the Tigers team total under, but man, they priced that out. Even at like 2.5, it was still juiced like to minus 140.
Wow.
I do like Springs. You could look at his numbers from last year, sub-3 ERA both in the first and second half. Detroit did not do well against lefties, specifically with their ISO numbers. The thing that specifically kept me off from the under was Tampa Bay does not hit for power against lefties. but they will get base runners, and they'll have significant amount of base runners. Wentz will allow base runners. He walks above average. His walks for the season last year were about a 1.2% higher than the league average, and his whip was a bit higher than the league average, around 1.4, which you don't want to see. So I stayed off of this. Only angle I could possibly go was Tigers team total under. I see that Big Show threw in a Wander total bases over. I don't hate that. It's just going to be interesting to see how do the Rays with a more durable, potentially durable Wander Franco, how do they hit lefties here moving forward? And I just don't trust that lineup completely yet.
All right. No, I get you. I get you wholeheartedly there. Last year, actually, you know what? This has been my my struggle this year so far, Moose. The fucking Notes app on my iPad closes out and doesn't save my fucking cock-sucking notes. And it makes me want to throw it through my fucking car door or whatever. I don't know. It pisses me off so much. So I take a shitload of notes.
IPad? Is it an older iPad?
I guess. I have fucking no idea. It pisses me off.
I got the same thing. Because I track my bets with my little iPad mini. And when it like literally just does not save any plays, and you have to go back and try to remember every fucking play you're on. It's like, that's why I have the Notes app, is to allow me to not have to remember. So I could write that down and then forget about it and do other things to destroy brain cells. Now I'm having to use them. Yeah, Notes app, come on.
It is infuriating. I took notes about all the fucking left-handed WRC pluses and lost it all, so I have to look them all up again. But they were about even last year, 119th. So I'll be interested to see how Detroit does. But let's move on there from this shit bum game, and let's move on to yet another shit bum game: the Atlanta Braves versus the Washington Nationals. The Braves just kind of been having their way with the Nationals so far. Shout out to Kyle Hintley and Dabby Cab, our guy Rocco, Nut Flush, Teflon Don, Swiss, Brown Hughes is all watching the program. Ragu watching as well. Shout out to you, Ragu, here. Braves Nationals. I will be interested in watching this game, but I'm absolutely not betting on this game. And then, I'm trying to be a little more selective. Let's try to be a little more picky, but who knows? I don't know. It's going to be fun. But I am passing on this game, too. I want to see Mackenzie Gore pitch a little more, I guess. And I don't know what the hell we're going to get from our guy, Jared Schuster. But it's going to be interesting to see how all that goes. Alfred44, Braves fan. I need to memorize all you guys' fandoms as well for the future as well. Alfred44 is saying that Mackenzie Gore can pitch, and we all remember the Juan Soto trade. Mackenzie Gore, probably the key piece of that trade. I'd be interested to see how he does, because his last start last year was against the Braves, 5 1/3, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run given up, 3 Ks, and 2 walks. So if he does worse, we'll be interested to see all that stuff, but it's going to be great. Shout out to Kyle Hintley, and by the way.
Damn, okay.
No. Appreciate you, my man. The tat's right here. You probably can't see it because I'm a little far away, but the tattoo is there. It's the outline of Fenway Park, Moose, if you're wondering. Very nice. I also, it's the like distance numbers are on there, and the distance from center field is 420, so I have 420 tattooed on me. So
I just thought I thought it was going in a different location. That's all I'm gonna say.
Where would you want? Where?
I thought you could have been creative. I thought you could have turned that into a little tramp stamp and used some certain things as home plate.
Cornhole?
Yeah, you might have been able to go that route. And then when you start talking about distances between things, but hey, shout out Kyle Hintley with the $10 dono, appreciating the tat and appreciating the artwork. So
appreciate it, my man. Kyle, thanks for watching as always, and it's nice having you in the chat, always making those big boy bets. Jared Schuster is the top prospect for the Braves, but that does not carry that much weight for me, unfortunately, because the Braves have the worst farm system in baseball. And they don't need top prospects, and they don't need prospects because fucking half their team is signed up for the next decade. So it's kind of like whatever. He's a good pitcher, but we'll see how it goes. All that good stuff. Dabby Cabot did not cry. You can watch the video on Pub Sports Radio right now, you cocksucker. Shout out to you, Dabby Cab. But I had nothing on this game. I'll be interested to see how it goes. I had a good spring as well, Schuster did. So I'll be watching this game keenly. What do you think of this game?
Before, like, I had to, hold my stomach down and, hey, take some Tums, because I I didn't do it, but I almost hopped on the Nationals first five. I'm not sure if everybody remembers last year in a start against the Braves, Mackenzie Gore, when he was with the Padres, 5 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs. He gave up 2 walks, gave up a home run, but a very serviceable outing. And he actually did fairly well against the East when he pitched against them. Against the Phillies, obviously wasn't getting full starters innings. Against the Phillies, 3 innings, no runs. Did that again in May when he went 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs. So he's actually had some experience pitching well against these Eastern teams, and I just couldn't get there with it. It's still early. And the other thing that I kind of have a golden rule I live by, which is I do not go up against or endorse pitchers on their first start, because you have no idea the mental makeup of some of these guys, whether they're going to get onto the mound and start puking their guts out before the game even starts, or if they're just going to be a lockdown and throw their first ever no-hitter in their first ever major league game. So I tend to stay away from these. Too many variables, too many things I just can't really put my fingers on. But I did get close. I did have it on my bet queue for Washington Nationals first 5. That's the only way I'd lean here. I would try to attack that potential minus 200 juice. I didn't do it, though.
Man, Moose, I love fading minus 300. So you're talking my language, Moose. You're talking my language. All right. Shout out to Jake Burns as well, throwing a Frank Gore reference in there as well. And Kyle Hetling using a free $250 bet on Yankees money line. Judge get a hit, and Twins money line. And he also loves the Twins today. Can't wait to talk about that game. We'll bring up that comment, Kyle, and I like them as well. Spoiler alert. Next game, let's talk about the best franchise in the American League East, the Baltimore Orioles versus the Boston Red Sox. Cole Irvin versus Tanner Houck. And mark it down, Moose. Mark it down. The first time I'll be fading the Boston Red Sox here this year. I will be on the Orioles, I believe, at some form or fashion here. Yesterday's game was hilarious in all forms. It was just really funny to just see them chip away. And this is what they did yesterday, but this time they actually come through and get the win. Thank you to the Orioles. And I think it was Ryan McKenna for fumbling the bag. We appreciate that. Adam Duvall, obviously now a favorite in Boston. But my guy Tanner Houck here has struggled all spring, and it has been something that Red Sox fans have been watching. And the thing is, Tanner Houck is not supposed to really be a starter. He was a starter last year, obviously, and we have no problem with him being a starter, but it was ideal for him to come out of the bullpen, and now that we've had some injuries, he's back starting, and so at the end of the day here, my guy Rocco, a.k.a. Rocco Rogers, is read my mind here, and he hit it, I'm sure, and I'm probably going to step on it too. I like the Orioles team total here for I believe it's minus 110 here. I would like, to hear everyone in the chat what you guys think, but that is the play I'm leaning towards and will probably make official here. And yeah, I know. Thanks, Ragu. Don't get it twisted. I'm trying not to here. I also like the over there, like Justin's saying, but I like the Orioles here today. I think they can get some runs off of Tanner Houck, and I don't know what the hell to expect from Cole Irvin. He was good, but how good is he going to be in the American League East with just a bunch of great lineups against him? So I like the over here, and I also lean towards, or I'm going to probably bet the Orioles team total over here. And a last little note before I pass it to Moose here. Windy day today across the United States, apparently. Windy day. They have 15-mile-an-hour winds at the start of the game blowing towards pesky pole in right field. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see here, but I will be leaning towards the Orioles here. I want to hear what you guys are saying in the chat. What do you think here, Moose?
I do like Houck, and I do like him for the first 5. So I did hop on Red Sox for the first 5, and I am exactly with you on the runs, but I don't know necessarily. I'm not 100% bought in on the Orioles being a consistent day-to-day lineup. I think they have the absolute potential to do what they've kind of done, which is put up runs, and they can streak out some runs. I saw that Jorge Mateo's not in the lineup, so I know there's going to be some changes. I even saw somebody, I forget who it was, mention that there's already teams that are sitting guys in the first weekend of the season, which, again, this is a very difficult card because you wouldn't expect anybody to be sat this early on, but there are teams that are doing it. So I did hop on the Red Sox first 5. I do like Houck. I think Irvin is going to have his struggles. And you look at just some of his metrics from last year alone, even though he did have a 3.98 ERA, his expected ERA was almost a full run higher at 4.4. Expected batting average 258. But the thing that gets me with Cole Irvin is the expected slugging that was at 451. And you know this, Jose, you cannot have teams hit the ball hard, hit the ball well in Fenway, because that's where you're just going to create problems. So I also am on the Red Sox team total over for the full game as well, 4.5. I do think that the Orioles will score, but I don't want to trust them. I think Houck can have a good game. I don't pay too much attention to the stats unless it follows in line with certain things that I'm looking at. And at no point do I see Houck is struggling with his velocity or spin rate, which is the main thing that I will take away from spring training starts. So I do think that he could potentially do well today. I think he's got some great stuff. He's got a expected batting average of he had expecting bat average last year 241 and an expecting slug of 355. You compare those slugs between Irvin and Houck and the Red Sox that did hit left-handed pitching well last year, 760 OPS, 204 runs, weighted runs created. So I do like the Red Sox today. I do like them first 5, and I do like their team total over. I also sprinkled a little bit on the first 5 team total over as well.
Man, this is a weird feeling being not on the Red Sox while my guest is on the Red Sox. It's a weird feeling. It's a very weird feeling.
Yeah.
This is thanks, Nate. I'll show you what Fenway looks like right there. I'll just do the rest of the breakdown with this. Here's the thing. I'm worried about the wind, obviously. I would have loved for that wind to be blowing out a little more instead of sideways. But I'm going to trust the Orioles here. And this will be the start that really decides, am I really going to believe in like spring training? Because I don't. I never really look at spring training. I was watching the WBC all the time, so I wasn't a big fan of it. And you know, going from the WBC to spring training is like taking hard drugs and then doing no fucking drugs at all, just being straight sober. But ultimately, I'm going to see here if Houck's not commanding his fucking pitches, then I will be concerned, and the Red Sox faithful will not be pleased in 3 games with our 3 starters. Let's move on here, and I should have looked up how to look Homeboy's name up, and unfortunately, it's just gonna look like Red Sox disrespect to the Yankees. But I'm going to go with Johnny Brito here, or Jahoni.
I think it's Johnny Brito.
We're going to call him Johnny. We're just going to call him Johnny. Shout out to guy Johnny here making his debut for the Yankees here. Not in my book. I don't keep up with the Yankees prospects, unfortunately. I've heard a lot about him here. I'll be interested to see what he does. But this is another easy pass game for me. It was a little comedic to see the Giants win yesterday, especially because I bet them opening day. And, of course, they come back and win yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Like, fuck me. But whatever. It's fine. I'll be interested to also see how Ross Stripling does. Old face, new place. Was on our Toronto Blue Jays last year. Now he goes over to San Francisco, and I'll be interested to see just because we saw what San Francisco did to a lot of starters and a lot of just, I guess older players. Not last year, but the year before when they had their breakout season. They found a way to pull something out of older starters that, are tossed away for whatever reason. And I think they might be able to do that with Ross Stripling here, but I'm not going to pay to see it. I'm not going to bet on it. I will be very interested to see how it goes for him. I'm going to shout out the comments real quick before I give it over to you, Moose. Shout out to our guy, Billy Brisbane, who dropped his K-prop in here. Jeffrey Springs over 5.5 punchies there. I hope those tickets get punched for you there, my guy, Billy. Thank you for watching. Brown Hughes also likes the Yankees team total over there, eating a little juice, but I can understand why. Rick J saying it took Yanks -1. Brito's pitch location was on point. Final game in spring versus the Toronto Blue Jays. And I saw Ragu mentioning the Yankees lineup here, and I'll just shout it out real quick. My least favorite Venezuelan, Gleyber Torres, leads it off. Aaron Judge, Rizzo. That is a little bit interesting lineup. It is a little weird. I don't know why they're lining it up this way, but whatever. Torres, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Donaldson, Cabrera, IKF in center field, Kyle Higashioka at catcher, and then Volpe rounding it out at shortstop. So it'll be interesting to see. It's a little weird how they're just throwing up. Like, it's just like the top of their lineup, everyone's 6'5" and above, and then below Osvaldo, we're just all the babies.
Yep.
So it's very interesting. But what do you think of this game, Moose?
I think we have to remember that Ross Stripling down the stretch was just dominant versus the AL East. From about August to the end of the season, you look at his stat lines. There's only one game where he gave up more than 3 runs and didn't pitch. I'm sorry. Yes, there's only one game where he didn't pitch more than 5 innings and give up more than 3 runs. He was just dominant down the stretch. I remember a lot of us were trying to find the right opportunities to back Stripling at different points of the year, and it just felt like it was always the wrong game. And hell, I'm with you, Jose. I bet Giants first game, and then I bet Yankees yesterday. So I don't have a great feel for this series, but I do want to at least make the point that Stripling had success, a lot of success down the stretch, pitching in the AL East last year, and was able to see these guys routinely. So this isn't a new face, not a new place to him. I would lean Giants more than anything, but Johnny Brito, I forget which way it's pronounced. I think it's Yanni, though. I want to say it's Yanni. That JH, I'm pretty sure it's a yo.
We'll find out today. I'll be watching the Star just to see what he's like. So we'll find that out today.
I mean, he's one of the top guys for the Yankees. I mean, at least he's expected to be somebody that can produce for them coming out of the bullpen. I believe he's supposed to be a bullpen guy, but because of Domingo Germán, he's getting the start today with the injuries to Rodon, Germán, I think Severino as well. So there's some issues that have caused him to have to pitch. I have a feeling the Yankees are saying this might be a little too early for him. Could be a live Giant spot, could be a first 5 spot for the Giants, some good plus money there. But ultimately, I just passed. I don't want to try to go up against a guy that did have success against them last year. So this was a pass.
Beautiful. Let's move on to our next game because that game sucked. New York Mets versus the Miami Marlins. And I'll be tuned into this one for sure as well. It fucking bit me in the ass yesterday. I bet the first 5 under in Los Angeles, Oakland, because as everyone knows, I have an affinity for Japanese pitchers. And my man, Fuji, as everyone calls him now, and I'll just call him Fuji, shit his pants in the 3rd inning. It was the 4th inning, maybe. I think it had 2 or 3 great innings, and then just gives up 11 runs in 1 inning or whatever it happens, and then just blew it there. And I'll admit, I thought the same thing here again. Moose, I was on this first 5 under last night as well. First 5 under 4. It goes to 5, obviously. And I'm like, what the hell? But I love Japanese pitchers, man. I just really do. In Swiss, his name's Fuji. I can't remember his last name for now. I've called him Fujimoto, Fujinama. I just don't remember it right now for some reason. Unfortunately, not racist, but that's hilarious that you would say that. Kodai Senga, the next Japanese product coming over, and I'll be interested to see how he does. I don't have any stats on him. I got a blister in spring, so I'll be interested to see how that goes for him. But whatever, I'm just like a fan watching him. I'm a fan watching him like everyone else here. I lean first 5 under because I really enjoy Trevor Rogers' work too. I think he had some good spring outings as well. Hopefully he figures it out because he could be a really, really good pitcher. Really, really good pitcher. So I'll be watching. So pass game for me.
Yeah, I do like Senga, and I'm not necessarily afraid to go against Rogers, so I am on the Mets here. Full game. I'm also going to probably get to the first 5 as well on the Mets. Rogers against the Mets. Rogers against the Mets last year didn't exactly have great starts, and it was one of those years where you were able to fade Rogers for most of the season until you got to the last few weeks, where he, if we remember last year, there was an injury, I believe, to his back, and he went down for minor league rehab, and he came out of it just saying like, "Yo, this is the best I've ever felt. Like my back is loosened up. I'm able to finally throw that changeup the way I'm supposed to get to." And he had a decent enough spring, but I still think that because of the lefty, the right-handedness to the left, to the Mets lineup, I don't want to do the team total like I was kind of looking at earlier, but I really think this is a Mets spot. Senga versus these Marlins guys, and he throws extremely hard, has just nasty stuff. The comparisons to Shohei in terms of stuff. And I also want to just kind of expand on that point you made about Japanese pitchers that come over. They have traditionally had a lot of success early on in the season, and then the league starts adjusting. Yeah. They also played the World Baseball Classic in Miami, so this is one of the stadiums that Senga will have familiarity with. So he should have the ability to know kind of the feels of the stadium, the mound, and all those kind of things. This just led me to the Mets, and I'm just going to be on them pretty heavy today with the full game, and I will also likely be on the first 5. I haven't gotten to that yet because they weren't available when I was betting them, but I do like the Mets a lot today.
Shout out to all the comments right now in the chat right now. I love that we're talking women's college basketball now, and Kyle Haley, and just fucking I'll Venmo you $200 if LSU wins to Able. So that's fucking hilarious. And yeah, by the way, if you guys want to pick on that, it's Caitlin Clark. It's always been Caitlin Clark. Keep taking her. She's a beast. Moose, a quick question. How do you feel about the total?
I wanted to go Mets team total over. That's where I wanted to go, but I don't want to go against Rodgers too much, just in case there is that development. We can't forget about how well he did his rookie year. I mean, he was just lights out, and he is continuing to get looks, which means that the Marlins obviously are seeing some certain things in him that would elicit that kind of response. So I would look towards the over, but really with Senga out there with the stuff he's got, both bullpens can be lights out. These series just scream under. Pushed on it yesterday with the 8, but I feel like Mets Marlins all year long is going to be more towards the under than it goes towards the over.
Okay, beautiful. I'm going to be interested to see how this game goes. Rocco Rogers has a question for you. I almost corrected myself to say Rocco Rogers, but that's not we're not doing that, Rocco. What do you think of Senga over 4.5 strikeouts?
I don't hate it, but it's also early, so you have no idea what their pitch count limit is. That's why I'm not playing any props right now in terms of pitcher props, because you don't know where their full workload is. I'd much rather take a K prop on somebody that has a full workload available to them than to try to assume like, okay, he's going to have his full workload, because you might want to take him out after a good inning. And I can tell you personally, as a pitching coach and has coached at the higher levels as well for semi-professional and amateur baseball and some college as well. If you can get a guy out in their first start or maybe their first couple starts off of a good inning, even if they have stuff left in the tank, you do it every single time because you want them to have that confidence to build and grow. So that's why I would probably say hold off on that. Let's see how Buck Showalter likes to use Senga. Is he just going to let him roll out there because he is a veteran, quote unquote, coming over? He's not a younger guy that's getting the look. That's a minor leaguer that came up through the system. You got to try to make this guy feel good and comfortable after he comes off of a good inning. That's what I would expect, especially when you have a Mets bullpen that is as good as it is.
All right. Beautiful. And I'm glad you mentioned that the Mets bullpen is actually good. It's still good without my man Edwin Diaz, but it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out. Good game that's going to be. Can't wait to watch it. Let's move on to a team that cashed for me yesterday. Those Cincinnati Reds had a team total over 4.5, I believe, yesterday. They got to 6 pretty quickly. It was very nice getting a win that easily. Trying to, want to get a layup to fall sometimes, and that was one of those layup plays. And now we've got Pittsburgh throwing out Vince Velasquez against my man Graham, the Ass Man Ashcraft. What are we going to get here from Ashcraft? He was up and down last year, but he was more starting well and then kind of ending poorly. Maybe it was a fatigue thing. Who knows? But I like Graham. I like Graham a lot. I think I'm going to back him and the Reds here at some point. My notes, even last night, my notes, I said, we'll be looking at Cincinnati somehow. So I will be probably on Cincinnati here. I don't believe in Vince Velasquez. Like Rance is saying, he's not that great. He was on the White Sox last year. Did you guys remember he was on the White Sox last year? Because I fucking didn't. I guess, I don't know. I thought it was like, yeah, Win Velasquez, he was on the Phillies. And then I was like, oh, fuck, yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. So I'll be interested to see how he does. Going to be on the Cincinnati Reds here. I wrote down Cincinnati Reds first 5 minus a half there at minus 105. Want to hear what you guys think. Gerardo Hernandez liking first 5 over 4.5 there as well. I do like that. As well. So I would be very interested to see this. It's just not the time to bet on the Pirates yet, guys. Got to let them do their thing here. And then when they play the Dodgers, let's get a minus 300 for the Dodgers. And that's when we pounce. But not the time to bet the Pirates for me yet here. So I'll be on the Reds, I believe. What do you think, Moose?
Yep, same thing. First 5. I'll take the Reds bullpen out of the equation. I will be on the Reds first 5. I really wish some of these damn betting sites would put the first 5s out the night before. But
I know, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I'm going to do this. So can I just do this now instead of having to wait? Like, I know what the bet is I want. I will be on the Reds. I'm not sure what the first 5 money line would be, but this is absolutely a first 5 money line run line situation. I mean, Mr. That's just what I'm going to call him. I don't even feel like I want to say the full name. Mm-hmm. Anytime I hear it, it's just like, he does just enough to stay in the league. Like that's Mr. Just Enough. That's what we got to call him, is Mr. Just Enough. He did have a decent end to last year, but you look at the lineups he faced down the stretch, a struggling Mariners offense, the A's, a struggling Padres offense. It was just like, every start, one after another, was just like, yeah, offense that's struggling. And he would just get by because Mr. Just Enough is just going to do enough to get by. So Cincinnati Reds first 5. Ashcraft has looked much better. He's looked dominant in spring. I know we just talked about you don't really want to evaluate a pitcher off of their spring performances unless it's velocity or spin rate. But dude's walk issues do not seem like they are going to be as much of a thing. His control has looked much better. Again, spring versus regular season, 2 totally different things. But I think a lot of people have looked at this Reds rotation and said between Green, Lodolo, and Ashcraft, you could potentially have a 3 that develops into a big 3. Reds first 5, I'm going to be on it.
Reds first 5 money line is minus 135, and the
I'll be on that. Yeah, I'll be on that, and I'll be on the run line.
All right, there we go. Shout out to Moose Money. Full game run line, by the way, plus 140. I do.
No, just first 5. I mean, Reds bullpen. I don't want to. No.
I can understand that, but I respect the people out there taking that 140. I respect that. All right, so that's our Reds Pirates game. A shit game, but we're gonna try to get some money in that shit game. We're both on Reds first 5 there. I'm on minus a half. He's on both. So shout out to you there, Moosey. Let's move on to the White Sox and the Astros. A good series. It's been fun to watch. Astros got there for us yesterday. That was a say hey minute play of the day. Astros -1. By the way, the say hey minute, I was just told by one of my producers. I guess one of my producers. He just helps me edit videos because I'm a busy man. Hey, say hey minute is out now, so if you want to go watch that, go ahead. We have not gotten there yet, but I will shout it out when we get there. Mike Clevinger versus Luis Garcia. And I guess this is the 2 pitchers I feel the most opposite about. I don't like Mike Clevinger anymore. I used to like him, but, who knows? He's got a very checkered past, et cetera, et cetera. I don't like the guy that much. He's not that great of a pitcher. I'm sure you got a lot of them in San Diego. Versus one of my favorite human beings on this earth, Luis Garcia, who did a lot for me in the WBC and looked dominant doing so. So, I am probably staying off here, like Rick J369 is doing so as well. Kyle Hitlian mentioning that Yordan Alvarez is out. That's also a big part, obviously. So I'm going to stay off here. I'll be watching because I just love watching Luis Garcia cook. So and I would love to see my man Clevinger fail here. So I'll pass here, but I will be interested watching. And last comment here, real quick. It seems like every morning now I wake up, I'm like, I want to take Astros -1. So, and I'm not going to today, but I'm just gonna put that in everyone's head, put in the back of everyone's head that I might just start ending up betting Astros -1 very consistently because I think they're going to be a very good ball club and all that good stuff. And I think they're going to win more games than we lose. So I'll be interested to see how that goes for me. But yeah, go ahead, Moose.
Astros team total. I'm all over it. Clevenger has lost significant amount of velocity over the last year. He used to be a guy that was throwing about 97, 98 miles an hour, touching 99. Now he doesn't even break 95. He is generally 92, 93. And when you don't have that elite breaking stuff, that elite control, you're just going to get schmacked. And that's kind of what happened in spring training as well, is he just continues to get schmacked. And so that's kind of what I think is going to happen today. I took Astros team total ladder. I actually laddered it. And I might even jump in on the first 5 to really attack Mr. Clev. I know a lot of people hate the whole dancing thing and be like, oh, he sucks because he dances. He does all that rhythm stuff. It's like, no, he sucks because he doesn't throw hard anymore. He did the rhythm thing to try to enhance some different sequencing cues that you can do as a pitcher to try to make sure everything is on time and on point. His velocity's down. I don't know what he's doing in the off season with his weight room and his weight training and mobility training, but it certainly doesn't look like he's gotten any bigger, any stronger. Definitely feels like maybe court cases had taken.
Yeah, but he's too busy fighting court cases.
Hey, it could be that. It could be that he's just not able to get out and work on the things he's supposed to work on. But Clevenger could be on the list of potential first cut guys for the season. So I'm going to attack him while I have the opportunity. I'm going to take Astros I'm going to take the Astros team total ladder all the way up to 5.5, and I'm going to probably get on the first 5 team total over as well.
Yeah, he got a new deal this year. He's partying too much, as Elliot V is saying. Who knows? Yeah, I'll be interested to see how he does. I mean, he's had a hell of a year, Mike Clevenger. So is he really going to be focused on baseball? Who knows? I should probably be on the Astros -1, but I'm going to not do it today.
You still got time.
I do, and you know what? I'm gonna do the run line. You know what, Moose? You know what? You rascal! You son of a bitch, Moose! I'm gonna look at it real quick, and if I can get a decent price on it, like I would love a under a -120. If I can,
I think I might throw him in a parlay too. I think there's another game we got coming up that I might want to just throw 2 teams in a parlay and just call it a day.
You know, it's funny. I guess I don't know. Maybe I didn't update the odds on the graphic because now I've got the Pirates, the Astros at -150, and that's just I don't know. It seems weird to me, but I probably just didn't update the graphics from last night. But I'm going to just put this in real quick. A +135 run line. I keep fucking doing the wrong thing there. +135 run line. You can get a -106. Son of a bitch. All right, I guess I'm gonna be on the Astros today again. It's gonna be one of those things, I guess, guys, because I really think they're gonna be that good of a ball club, even without Jose Altuve. I know their offense is kind of scary at times, and I know obviously there's no Yordan. But I'm gonna take Astros -1, -106. Moose, you fucking talked me into it. You son of a bitch.
Really didn't say much here. You obviously just wanted somebody to give you any kind of push. It's like the guy that's like, hold me back. It's just like, yeah, we all know what we want you to do. You all know that he's wanting to get in on this.
Well, shout out to our guy Roca Rogers because he likes Astros run line as well. So Brown Hughes asking where Dallas Keuchel is these days. It's a great question. I thought I saw him get he's throwing he's like having open tryouts, so he's not signed with the team. And that's probably for the best for those teams. But we would love to have him back so we could fade him. Next game on our slate, and I believe I have a play on this one. Again, this is another, I wanted to wait, talk all my plays out with everyone because I've had such a tough start to the season, so I want to talk it out. But initially here, I'm automatically on Twins first 5. Everyone knows my love affair with Joe Ryan. I bet him to win Rookie of the Year last year. And that asshole in Seattle who makes my life hell, but not during the World Baseball Classic, Julio, suck my nuts. I don't like him, man. He won the Rookie of the Year going away. It was not even close. But Joe Ryan was fucking great last year. And it was automatically anointed, or at least by me. I said, this guy's going to be the next Zach Greinke. He's a short pitcher that just is a little weird, uses his movement, gets by, pitches well, et cetera, et cetera. 12-8 last year. I really like Joe Ryan. And Brad Keller, I don't unfortunately have the Helen Keller graphic with me right now.
No.
I'll look for it in the coming days. Uh, didn't finish the season in the rotation, and I ultimately don't have that much faith in him. Well, what's funny here, I immediately was like, all right, Twins first 5 money line. I looked at the weather. Oh my gosh. 20
Oh
mile an
shit.
hour winds blowing straight out in Kansas City today. So I'm sorry, Kyle. I'll keep it clean. I'm sorry. Uh I cannot deal with Brad Keller and him not making the rotation and thinking he's going to go out here and pitch well. The 20-mile-an-hour winds scare me, so I'm going to take I'm going to take Minnesota first 5 minus a half. I believe it's at minus 115. I'll give you the double check right now. But I would also consider taking the over here, and I'm a little worried about that for Joe Ryan's sake. Yeah, it is crazy wind. Namaste, Jay. And I also thought about taking Twins team total just to not even have to worry about Joe Ryan, and just take the team total over 4.5. So I want to hear what everyone says. I have not made any of those bets official yet. I've got them both written down. I just want to hear what everyone's saying. The 20 again, I looked at Swish Analytics. 20 mile an hour winds blowing out to center field, and I want to double check there. So, yeah, 18 blowing straight out, 17 and 16. So it died down a little bit throughout the night, or throughout the day, I should say. But yeah, it just makes me a little scared. So I over is the definite lean with those with that wind. But what do you guys think in the chat? Would you guys rather bet on Joe Ryan thinking he can quell the Royals' bad to have been bad to start off the season? Maybe they're going to come around. Who knows? Or would you rather bet on the Twins offense that hasn't showed up and hopefully will get aided by the wind? What do you think, Moose?
Man, both these teams haven't hit much to start the year off. And Keller's a weird dude, man. Keller's a weird dude. I thought when I looked at this game, I mean, first off, spoiler alert, I will be on the Twins first 5 as well with you. You are not the only guy that is a major fan of Joe Ryan. I think he could potentially be a Cy Young, top of the league type pitcher. He's got that kind of stuff. He's got that kind of moxie. When you look like the dude from Stranger Things, that's going to also help with your fandom.
Yes.
So, but when I looked at Keller, I thought it was just like, this is the ultimate smash spot, ultimate Twins, as much as you can, any way you can. But then some of the numbers started looking just, like, really? Like, I didn't expect that. His ERA last year, 5.09, expected ERA, 4.37, expected batting average, 256. And you look at his splits, and this was probably the most shocking one to me because I absolutely didn't expect to see this at all. His ERA during day games, and this is 15 games, 58 innings pitched last year, so a decent enough sample size, 3.09. That all kind of took me off of the Twins team total and all that kind of stuff. But I still will be on the Twins first 5. I still think Joe Ryan's the better pitcher. The thing to pay attention to, and I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I will at least bring it up so you guys can watch if you are watching it. It's the effectiveness of Keller's slider. It is his number 1 out pitch, but it's also the number 1 pitch that he gets hit on. His expected batting average is hold on, I actually have the number right here. Let me bring it up real quick.
And you said that was Brad Keller's day ERA?
Day ERA, yes, his day ERA.
I'm surprised by that. Since his fat, I thought he would melt in the heat. Interesting.
Right? Yeah. But Brad Keller's batting average against the slider last year, 265, expected batting average 247, but his slugging on it was 430, which is telling you that it can be more of an unhittable pitch, but he leaves it over the plate way too much. If you're seeing Keller throw his slider more over the middle of the plate, this is going to be a huge day for the Twins, especially with the wind blowing out. But moving forward, if he starts commanding that slider to just throw it down in the zone a little bit and not let it hang so much, he could turn into an actual legit pitcher. Like, he might be a guy that you just make a little note of. Brad Keller, slider effectiveness. And if you start seeing his slider get better, hop on him. Just back him.
Beautiful. There we go. Shout out to Moose Money, former pitcher, so he knows what he's talking about. Craig Wood asking you a pitcher question there, Moose. Do you think Keller benefited a lot from the shift via his slider, outside pitch, obviously. Well, depending what the hitter's batting side is, maybe they'll roll over to that shift side. Who knows? Do you have any thoughts on that?
The slider's not going to be the pitch where the shift is going to be the benefit. The shift is going to benefit the sinker, the two seam, mainly the moving fastballs, the changeups, anything that has that kind of movement where it's down into the handle rather than potentially away from the barrel. Specifically, if it's righty on righty, slider is more of a swing and miss. It is the number one swing and miss pitch in MLB in baseball. Shift's not going to be the number one correlated thing you look at there. The sinker will be, and Keller's not exactly a huge sinker ball guy, even though he does have one. He throws his slider 36% of the time, his sinker ball at 23% of the time.
Interesting. I will be watching a start, keenly aware, and I'm gonna hold off on the Twins right now. Shout out to Kyle Hitlian as well, and by the way, shout out to Kyle Hitlian's daughter who's watching the show. We appreciate you as watching as always. He's on the Twins large. He put a 5K banger on it.
Ooh, okay.
Obviously that gives you confidence to back the Twins here, but I might be taking their team total over. We'll see how it goes, because that win does in fact worry me. That win does scare me.
Well, it helps you with the bet.
Yeah. I just don't want to bet on Joe Ryan and then his first start he gets shelled because of stupid wind. Just all those fly balls just finding their way out, et cetera, et cetera. That's the big concern. But we'll see as we go on. We'll move on and then go back to it, et cetera, et cetera. Let's move on to another great series. Opening weekend. Shout out to it. Blue Jays, Cardinals. The Cardinals. I'll admit, this was minus 110 yesterday, and I was like, wow, I really like Jordan Montgomery, I guess. And this is just a complete, obviously he's not a Yankee anymore, so I can find some reason to like him. But I just think after he got traded, there was a lot of motivation to pitch well, especially not against his former team, but a motivation to show his former team what's up. And I think just a year under the Cardinals now, is going to be really beneficial development wise. They're with their pitchers, et cetera, et cetera. But it just obviously the Blue Jays lineup is always a scary thing to go against. So this was another pass game for me to start off here. I was just very interested to see. I'm very interested to see how he goes, how he does, and I think that he's going to be a good value pitcher going forward. The line moving, Swiss. I like Montgomery. It's shocking to say, I know. The line was minus 110 last night, so moving to minus 115 towards the Cardinals makes me feel a little better. But I'm not going to be betting this game. I will not forget that Jordan Montgomery, of course, former Yankee, pitched against the Blue Jays twice last year, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, and then 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs again there. So I'll be interested to see how it goes for him. And by the way, double comments there from Jay Peasy and Big Ragu there mentioning that Bo Bichette, shout out to DG Bobo, Bo dominates Jordan Montgomery at 564 batting average there. And Ragu likes their team total over 3.5 at minus 120 there. The aspect we have not talked about in this game is Chris Bassett making his debut for the Toronto Blue Jays. I'll be interested to see how he starts off his season. I think he's kind of a slow starter. I will be interested to see how he works there. He had a good start against St. Louis last year. I was pretty surprised he had 2 starts against St. Louis as well. 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs there. And then next start for him, 6 1/3, 9 hits, 4 earned runs off 2 home runs. I'll be interested to see how it works. So a pass for me. Maybe if you're a prop guy, I'll be interested to see how you guys bet Mr. Bichette, team total over, or it's not team total over, bases over, home run prop, et cetera, et cetera. If I guess I had to make a home run prop because we talked about it yesterday with Connor Mack, maybe it's Bo Bichette here today, but a pass game for me right now. What do you think, Moose?
I'm going to be on the Cardinals. I'm going to be on them hard. Chris Bassett is my number one pitcher coming out of spring training that I want to attack as much as possible. His velocity has gone down 2 to 3 miles an hour this year. He is the number one guy coming out of spring training where you go, he does not look the same, and he's not nearly as effective. So I want to attack him. The Cardinals have obviously shown us already that they have the full capability of putting runs up on the board. Bassett with his spin rate down, his velocity down, that's not going to bode well. I also love that Montgomery does have the experience facing this Blue Jays lineup because When you face a lineup like this, it can be a little daunting. You might have control issues. I don't expect that from Montgomery at all. I do love the Bichette angle, though, with Ragu and JPZ throwing that out there. That's potentially a really good angle. I'm not playing props yet. I really want to make sure my focus is on the sides and totals. But Montgomery, familiarity against the Blue Jays, Bassett with his velocity and his spin rate down, that is the number one thing in MLB betting that you want to attack as much as possible. And that is guys that have reduced velocity and reduced spin rates, because they are essentially pitching with a whole new set of arsenal, or a whole new set of tools, a whole different arsenal. I know that Matty Ice, shout out Matty Ice and the Taint play of the day, that he's coached him in the past and he's one of his boys.
About this.
Yeah, dude, that's always cool. Man, I got one of my own that I expect could very well be in the MLB one day. It's a very special thing when you have one of your own players that you've worked with, developed, get to the highest level in baseball. But potentially could be some issues with the offseason with negotiations, maybe too many meetings with the agent. I don't know, it could be a bunch of different things, but the stats are there. Velocity's down, spin rate's down. So I'm attacking. I'm going to be on the Cardinals for the first 5. I'm going to be on them for the full game as well. I'm sorry, I'm only on them first 5. I'm on full game, and I'm on reverse run line on the Cardinals as well, -1.5.
Okay, beautiful. Primetime 99 asking about the Cardinals pen. I thought it would be a strength of theirs, but the first 2 games have obviously looked like shit.
It's going to be good. It'll be a good.
It will be good. Yeah, I think it will be good. It doesn't hurt to have primetime. I don't know if you watched the Baseball World Classic, but there's a Colombian, their closer for Colombia. He throws 100 plus, like 103, et cetera, et cetera. He was just filthy. He's on the Cardinals. You've got Hensley. He's on the Cardinals throwing 105. It's a lot. And of course they've got Jordan Hicks too. Who threw whatever. I don't know. English is hard. But yeah, they've got a good bullpen. I think it'll find itself, but the Blue Jays offense is just very good. So I'm passing here. We'll be interested to see how it goes for everyone. And by the way, shout out to Justin McIvy, by the way, saying a little Boba shit RBI +120. I like that look. A lot. If I was a prop better, I'd be on it somehow, some way. Now let's move on to what is in fact my say hey minute play of the day here. Go watch the video, 1-minute breakdown of this game. It's hard to say this after betting on the Cubs for the last couple of days. I'm going to be on the Milwaukee Brewers here. Just straight money line, even money. I was a little disappointed. What day? I can't. All my days are starting to run in together now. Devin Williams obviously pitched well. So I would like for him to be available this game if I'm going to take full game. But I just believe in Eric Lauer. I like Eric Lauer a lot. He's one of my favorite pitchers to back. Especially on this, Brewers staff. I fade Woodruff and Burns sometimes, but I'll back Lauer and can't even remember whatever fucking the guy's name is now. But I like backing the secondary pitchers of the Brewers essentially here. And of course, Jameson Taillon making his debut for the Cubs. Now, here's the thing. This is just like one of my theorems going into this season. I'm going to be interested to see how pitchers, I guess first-year pitchers specifically on the Cubs do in Wrigley Field, because we saw Marcus Stroman last year for some odd reason just did not pitch well in Wrigley Field. Was it the wind? Was it getting used to a new environment, et cetera, et cetera? I'll be interested to see how that works out for him. But I'm going to fade him here. I'm going to see how it goes. My guy Rocco Rogers and I are going straight up here. He's got Cubs first 5 money line here. And yes, good question, Mark. I was about to bring that up. The wind, because obviously this is where the wind is the most important, I would say. We've got 11-mile-an-hour winds, 10, 11-mile-an-hour winds blowing right to left there. So it's not necessarily blowing out. And that is, I thought it would be blowing out, truthfully, when I saw the 9, because yesterday we had a 6.5 and it was blowing pretty much in. So we kind of knew what was going to happen there. We knew what was happening there with the total. Now we've got a 9. It's kind of blowing semi out, but like I said, going out to left field. I'll be interested to see how it affects Jameson Taillon here and how he gets used to the wind factors there. So give me Eric Lauer. Give me the Brewers here. My last note, and of course, We know that the Brewers have seen the Cubs many times. Eric Lauer has seen the Cubs many times. I'll go through his starts real quick against them. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 11 Ks, 1 walk. That 1 earned run came off of a home run. That was an early start last year. 4 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned runs. And then his last start against them in August, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, which I'm going to hope and pray that was a little bit of fatigue there at the end of the season for Mr. Lauer. So I'm taking I keep saying the Cubs because I bet them those 2 days. I'm taking the Brewers here. Money line here. I'm going to rock and roll with it. That was a say hey man play, and it is official for me. Plus 105 for me.
Oh, man. That was good. Just the excitement to say the wrong play. I got the hold on.
They kept fucking saying it, too. God, it's so annoying. Yes, Thomas Day, Jay, you did miss Yankees Giants, but I don't think we were on it. I think we both passed. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Moose.
We both passed. The thing I just pointed out was Stripling and his success against the AL East, and specifically his success down the stretch. I'm off of this game. I was looking at the Brewers, but the stats that took me off of it, Eric Lauer in away games, 4.76 compared to 2.56 at home, pitched way better at home. And day to night, 5.72 ERA during the day, 2.74 at night. It's just that was enough to be like, yeah, that's not good. That's just not great. And there are certain pitchers, especially lefties, that throw similar to Eric Lauer, meaning he's not going to overpower you with a 97, 98. He's much more reliant on the change of speeds, being able to use his fastball as a boosted fastball with his exceptional off speed, because he does have good off speed and he can place his changeup. But if you're in the day and the lighting is that much better, it can prove to be the number one X factor that can be the difference between being effective and being a guy that you can trust and a guy that you can legitimately fade. And I'm not sure if I want to put Lauer in that fade category. And I don't, quite frankly, want to be on the Cubs because I don't know what their lineup's really ultimately going to be like. It still looks like a work in progress. They've been gifted some runs. I mean, there's been some errors made by the Brewers. There's been some walks made by the Brewers. So I'm not sold on this Cubs lineup. So this was a pass, but I did feel like that the split between home and away and day and night was fairly significant for Lauer and something to keep paying attention to moving forward.
All right. Beautiful. Moose. By the way, I don't know, it's probably just a me thing, but Moose's audio level just dropped down to the floor. So I didn't even hear the last half of that.
My bad.
That's just a me thing, and I might be able to fix that myself. Let me know in the chat if Moose was really quiet there at the end or if that was just me. And if it was just me, I will go to my backup plan audio-wise, and that will probably be my
just
fault.
let me know.
All right, so that's beautiful as well. Shout out to Deshaun G as well. Professor Chris watching the show. Swiss Horton asking about an NBA a comparison. Luka Doncic is there one in the MLB? It is probably Fernando Tatis Jr. People don't like him for some reason. Obviously Luka's because he's kind of a big baby. Fernando Tatis because he took steroids, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, I think it would be Fernando. Moose, what do you think as I'm going to adjust my audio here?
I don't know what are we trying to compare? Are we comparing like the whininess, or are we comparing like the elite level talent? Like what's the comparison here? Because I'm not sure what or somebody that's from a different country that came here and just dominated. So I'm not sure exactly what
Moose, you have to play into the
I would like to know what the comparison is. Like if you're going for a guy from a different country that came over here and just took over and made it look like they invented the game. Ohtani kind of does look like that because he literally does things that nobody else does. But I don't really want to go with the whiny aspect and the complaining for fouls, because if that was the case, I would say it's the Mets, because they complained and whined about, Mr. Musgrove's ear for an entire offseason and into the season.
That's very funny. I forgot about that. Completely forgot about that. All right, let's move on. And now I have to do with a little listening to myself talking while I talk. So this is going to be a lovely end of the show. Yes, I know it's going to be great. So who knows what I'm in store for at the end of this program. What you guys are in for, and shout out to your dog as well.
Yeah, sorry.
I hope that he knocks down at everything. I hope he just fucking takes them out.
Yeah, he didn't get outside quick enough. I'll put it that way, since we have some children listening, and he has some stomach issues as well. So if you want to connect those dots,
there we go. Shout out to him. Angels A's, the easiest pass of the day for me, especially after I got killed yesterday in the first 5 under there, 11 runs or whatever it was for the A's in like 2 innings. Tyler Anderson, I think he's the main pitcher that's due for regression this year. It's just circle that, and it's like he's not on the Dodgers anymore. The Angels suck at developing pitching, so I would assume he regresses. I won't be backing him. Ken Waldichuk, I mean, he was the guy that got for Frankie Montas, so I'll be interested to see how that goes, but the A's have really never done well in any of these trades, so I'm passing. We'll watch Ken Waldichuk to see if he's worth anything, but I'm not interested here. Anything for you?
Oh, fat interest here. I'm going to be all over the Angels. I've got Angels team total over 4.5 at plus money, and I also will be on the first 5 with the Angels. I don't really want to go with the Angels bullpen, but the A's versus lefties at home last year were the worst. Capital T, capital H, capital E. The worst team against lefties at home. Only team to hit under 200. A 563 OPS. An ISO of 091. Horrific.
Bad idea.
Jose, I know that there's been a lot of questions about your pitching. You probably could get a couple outs out there. I mean, if you could get the ball past home plate, I think you might be able to get a couple outs. I'm sorry to take that shot. There's certain things that are just
more over than past.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. My bad.
Right,
but Tyler
65.
Anderson is a lefty. The A's did not make enough significant changes to their lineup to make me think that all of a sudden they're going to start hitting lefties. So I will be all over the Angels, and give me an Angels lineup that I expect to demolish lefties with Trout and Drury and Mr. Catch Over My Head Without Looking Renfroe.
That was sick.
That was sick. Let's just take a second to appreciate a man just literally throwing his glove behind him, and the ball goes in. So Angels team total over, the Angels first 5 all over it. I didn't ladder it last night since I got plus money on it, because I get it. Oakland's a very pitchers friendly park, and potentially the pitchers friendliest parkist in the world. But yeah, I'm going to be on the Angels team total, and I'm going to be on the first 5 Angels as well.
Apparently, according to Corn, 87% of the money on
Waldichuk is a prospect. All right, he is a prospect, but
the Yankees prospect too. So
yeah, but left-handed, and I mean, look, if Waldichuk just absolutely chucks, thank you to Dutch, I'll be here all week, and does really well, then obviously it's like, okay, well, maybe Waldichuk's going to be the guy to, back in the future, not the next game, because obviously after a great game, you fade them the next game. But man, just this screams Angels over, Angels first 5 to me. So I'm taking it. I don't, and Regu just put in first 5 under. I don't hate that either, because I don't know if you're going to have like the first 5 go over 5 on their own by the Angels. That is kind of a lot, but man, give me the Angels team total over. Give me Angels first 5.
Beautiful. Now I can hear you on my headphones now. We're back in action. I don't have to hear myself talk. Don't have to hear my fucking nasally Lois Griffin voice. It is back in action here, Moose. Nasty Nate, great question. What's in the thermos today? Water, because I have 4 shows to do today. So, and I have not eaten today, but I will be drinking today. So shout out to me. Thank you. Responsibility. Next game on our slate, Arizona Diamondbacks, Los Angeles Dodgers. A fucking fickle bitch this series has been for me, Mr. Moose Money. Mm-hmm. I don't know what to expect from either pitcher here. So this was another easy pass game for me, just to want to watch. But are we going to see the Tyler Anderson effect on Noah Syndergaard here now, because it seems like the Dodgers are just the pitching developing gurus. They always find a way to do their fucking thing and pitch them well. So I'll be very, very interested to see how he pitches this year. Is he going to go out here and shove today? I don't know, but I'm going to pass and watch. Minus 185 is a little aggressive here. I don't like Zach Davies, and I don't trust the Diamondbacks enough to get him over here. So I will pass very easily here, Mr. Moose Money. What about you?
Yeah, same here. Same. We don't know what kind of Thor we're going to be seeing. Is he even Thor anymore? Is it more like Sor now?
It's a good one. That's a good one. That's another. You'll be here all weird. Yeah, it's Thor. It's Fat Thor actually now.
It's Fat Thor now. Okay. The weird thing about this is usually when you hear of a Dodgers getting a pitcher, you'll also hear of them now working on a new pitch. Like Tyler Anderson,
the Dodgers slider. They teach it to everyone.
Exactly. But we haven't heard that from the Dodgers about Syndergaard. The narrative that I've heard about Syndergaard is he's now embracing the lack of velocity that he has. It's like he's just now going to become a contact pitcher.
That's just what everyone says when they can't fucking throw the ball any hard. That's what everyone says. Yeah, I'm just embracing that I throw the ball like a coward now.
Exactly. It's like, all right, I don't throw hard anymore. So what's that going to mean? How's that going to affect his hard hit rate? I think we kind of saw what we're going to see last year. He'll have his games where he can pitch really well. I don't think the strikeouts are going to be there at all anymore. So you're now talking about a pitcher that's going to allow contact against the team that can put the ball in play and run, because the Diamondbacks might end up being one of the most steeliest teams in the league with all the guys they got on there that can run.
That's a good adjective right there.
Yeah, the steeliest. Yeah, I like that too. I'm on a roll right now. The last 2 minutes have been just gold. So you can just clip that. I don't know what to get from Davies either. He's had moments where he's looked like he is a Dodgers killer, and then it looks like he's the Dodgers booster and just gives up runs in every single inning. So this was a complete stay off from me. I would have liked to have gotten on the Diamondbacks in some way, shape, or form. But ultimately, I don't know if I want to trust that Syndergaard is just, not Syndergaard anymore, that he's Fat Thor. So I am going to be off this game. Lean to the Diamondbacks. Pretty big lean to the Diamondback team total over, but again, did not get there.
Man, I think Rocco Rogers really has talked me into a play.
Oh, yeah, what's that?
And Rocco, you'll have the distinction of being the first chat play I'll tail this year, I suppose. He is cashed first 5 over in the first 2 games of the series, first 3 games. I forget already now. The good job by me. And he's on it today, first 5 over 4.5 here. And I think you made a great point with the steeliest team. Someone mentioned that in the chat as well. Noah Syndergaard sucks at holding runners. It's been a big factor of him pitching. In the postseason, it was a thing. I would love to see stolen base props on people as well. I'm not a prop guy, but I can definitely understand if you're on those as well. So I'm going to take the first 5 over 4 too. Over 4.5 as well, I should say. He's got minus 112. I've got minus 120 because obviously Rocco Rogers is using some better books than I have here. So I am on it. I also like Justin McElvee's team total over 3.5 for the Los Diamondbacks as well. But I'm on it, and I'm going to end up having more plays than I thought on this card. But shout out to you, Rocco Rogers. Let's ride together here. It's going to be a lot of fun watching this game. I cannot wait. Next game on our slate here. Let's talk Guardians, Mariners. Cal Quantrill, Marco Gonzalez. It's been a fun series to watch, but I have not been able to bet this series. It's just, I don't know. I'm just gun shy, a little worried. I like the Guardians a lot right now. I just like the first couple of offensive outputs they've put up. I've just been like, wow. Because I thought I was on the Mets, or not the Mets, the Twins to win that division. And just watching those 2 games, I'm just like, man. How are the Twins going to keep up with this? Because they just look good. I don't know how they'd keep doing it, but just offensively, they can just get these guys and find a way to keep scoring runs. Shout out to you, Regrew. Thanks for watching. And it's going to keep on happening, I think. So I'm off this game. Again, maybe a first 5 over here too, because I don't believe in Marco Gonzalez. He's a great guy, I've heard, but I don't believe in Marco Gonzalez at all. And Cal Quantrill pitched like shit during the Baseball World Classic. So I don't want to back him. I don't want to back him here. So I'm off. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Cal dominated and the Guardians won yet again here and made an early statement, but I'm off.
Yeah, I would have liked to have been on the Guardians. I have a futures on the Guardians to win the division. I have them on their over, and so far so good. But really, the Cleveland Mariners are just it's Seattle Guardians and the Cleveland Mariners. It's same thing, same teams. They're the same teams. That's exactly what they are. They both have a superstar. They both have exceptional young talent. They both have good pitching. They both have potentially a better bullpen. They can both run. They can both play defense. They can both get some power and clout. Same damn team. It's just amazing to me how similar they're starting to become. The Guardians last year did struggle a bunch against lefties, but we already saw them manhandle Robbie Ray. So Marco Gonzalez is not as good as Robbie Ray. Not saying Robbie Ray's good, but I wouldn't really want to test the whole Guardians can't hit lefties. I wouldn't really want to trust Cal Quantrill right now. I do think Quantrill will start to figure things out as the season goes on, but his figuring things out, Jose, I think he's just going to be like a 4.2 type guy. Like that's just going to be where he's at. He's going to be the official pitcher of 420 because that's what his ERA is going to be for most of the year. Cab, if you're still around, you know what I'm talking about. Those pitchers that are, they're good, but like they're going to get hit around. You know they're going to get hit around at some point. So I don't know if this is the lineup that I really want to go. I definitely like playing Cal in games where the wind is blowing in because he is a fly ball pitcher, and that factor can help you reduce some runs, reduce some risk. That's really not in play here, especially in Seattle where the ball can fly a little bit. I'm off of this game. Wanted to be on the Guardians, couldn't get there. Don't trust them enough against lefties. Don't trust the Marco Gonzalez to be enough of a lefty to get out the Guardians. So ultimately I am off. I am pass.
Beautiful. And we can burn through this next game too as well. Colorado Rockies, San Diego Padres, your Padres at the very least. I didn't take any notes on this game because I was like, you know what? Fuck this game. I'm done. I'm done here. I'm done here already. I've already decided 2-3 games into this damn season that we are just never going to have the opportunity to bet the Padres at like decent, reasonable prices because
it's stupid.
It's like, why minus 215 with Seth Lugo on the bump. What the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? Yeah, and the Rockies have already beaten them twice.
Yeah. It's a rocky spot. Based off the number, it's absolutely a rocky spot.
But I don't want to back the Rockies. I don't want to back Austin Gomber. He's the only thing that they have like that represents some kind of return on the Nolan Arenado deal. And I'm set. I'm good. I'm all good there. So the easiest pass here for me. But you're a fucking San Diego Padres guy, Moose. Tell us, what do you think about these Padres?
Easy over for me. And that's what I took. I took the over 8. I think that the Padres versus lefties can hit lefties, and that's going to be a thing that they will be good. Maybe not great, and maybe not to levels that like St. Louis was, Atlanta was last year, but I do think they will be absolutely good. But it's also Lugo. I've had this conversation with people before. Actually, Nicholas Earls, shout out ESB and what he's been doing over there. We talked about Seth Lugo, and it's very surprising that the Padres have two of the same type of pitcher at the back end of the rotation. Nick Martinez and Seth Lugo should be pitching on the same day. Have one start, go one time through the lineup, and then have the other guy go in piggyback and go one time through the lineup, and then hopefully you're around the 6th inning, and then you can just go to your bullpen. It feels like that would be the smartest decision ever, but they're just like, no, we're going to allow teams to see Seth Lugo's breaking ball multiple times. The second time through a lineup, the breaking ball becomes a little easier to take and recognize, just like any other breaking ball. I think that this is where we're going to start to realize, like, yeah, maybe those two should be more in the bullpen, long relief, spot start type role versus giving them an outright start. We already saw it with Nick Martinez. The Rockies jumped all over him. I expect something similar. It's also the feeling like once the Padres scored runs that they can kind of relax a little bit because there was that expectation that every game they were going to score double-digit runs. I do like the over today. It's much warmer here. The ball has been flying a lot more in Petco during the days. I do love this over here. I think this is a great over spot. If you want to get even better with it, you can take the Rockies team total over, which would be a little lower run total and also give you some better plus money. But I think both teams are going to score. I could easily see this being like 6-4, 5-6 type of game. So if you want to run that total up, you go ahead and run it up. I think this is one of the better overs on the table.
Yeah, no, I can see why you like the over, and you've kind of talked me into it, but I'm not going to add any more. And I would love a Rockies team total here. Love a Rockies team total here as well, but I'm going to stay off. I'm going to stay off, and I'm going to have some self-discipline, and I'm going to keep on moving on. Shot to coin as well, by the way, dropping in 98% of the money.
Hey, good facts there. Good facts. Always good to know.
On the Rockies. Yeah, it is good to know. Shout out to you, coin, my guy. All right, last game on our card. Thanks, everyone that's kept with us. Hour 15 minutes in. Hit the like button. We appreciate you guys as always. We're going to wrap up this card, give our best bets here, and get out of here. Again, we appreciate you all for watching a good game, a little Sunday night baseball action here. And I will mention this. I forgot to mention this at the top. There will be no live stream tonight for Sunday night baseball. I was supposed to host it for one Jimmy the Bag, but I have some shows to produce locally here that start at the same time, unfortunately. So we're just rescheduling to Monday. Monday, we're going to do the National Championship live stream. So go tune in to that. No reminder, no live stream Sunday. Go Aztecs. All right, Bailey Falter versus one of my close personal friends, my guy, Martin Perez. It is
Have you gotten that message yet? Jose, have you gotten the message yet?
Pablo Lopez did respond to me a couple days. Well, not it was a couple days before the Baseball World Classic. I told him happy birthday, and he said thanks.
Oh, what? Oh, that's cool.
He's my close personal friend. Why wouldn't he? And at the Baseball World Classic, my other close personal friend, Salvi, we made eye contact after the Puerto Rico game where he had a great game. We made eye contact and did a head nod while he was doing his interview. So
heart emojis.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he saw those in me. But yeah, no, we're close personal friends. Again, I don't. Am I lying when I say this? No. Me and Martin, we're like this. But he's been. It's shocking to me. It is just so shocking that he is pitching so well now.
Yeah,
he was on the Red Sox, and I watched him, and I was very intently watching him. He just was not good.
Yeah.
Just wasn't that good. And then he just goes right back to Texas where I guess he's more comfortable, et cetera, et cetera. And he's just been so fucking good. Sorry for cussing not Cheshire Cat, Kyle Hentlian. He's been so good, just so great. And in the World Baseball Classic, he was phenomenal. I can't remember if he started the U.S. game, but he pitched against the DR, gave up the immediate run, and then just locked it down from then on. I really, really, really enjoy Martin Perez. And Justin, tell me what part of my rambling here was cap. Let me know what part was cap. Me and Salvi being close personal friends, or Martin Perez or Pablo Lopez. Let me know. And shout out to you, Cheshire Cat. Thanks for watching. All that being said here, I don't want to take the Texas Rangers because they've won the first two games of this series in very interesting fashion. They've just pummeled the Phillies offensively. Just bats have just gotten out and just did their work. And really, I could easily see the same thing here tonight against Bailey Falter. Bailey Falter, not a good, I was going to call him a quarterback, but not a good starting pitcher here. He was literally in a starting rotation battle with a 19-year-old this spring. With a fucking 19-year-old. And that 19-year-old Andrew Pager, really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. But when your organization puts you up against a literal child, a 19-year-old child, they do not have faith in you. So we'll see. He also has some bad home road splits here, but it's more geared towards him being at home. 5.49 home ERA in 39 innings pitched, a road ERA of 2.42. So maybe he's a little more comfortable getting away from the Philly asshole fans. I don't know. Again, sorry for cussing there, Kyle. But I'll be interested to see how he does. So for me, I'm on the Rangers here. I would be on the Rangers. I'm not on it officially. I don't think I'm going to make a bet on it, but it's Rangers first five. Maybe a team total over in the first 5 innings for the Rangers as well. I really, really, really like Martin Perez, and I think he can win a lot of games. perform well enough to win a lot of bets for us this year. So give me the Rangers here, but I'm not going to make it official.
Yeah, well, give me the over because that's what I'm on. I took the over. I let me rephrase that. I waited for 8.5 because it looked like that's kind of where it was going, which is a little surprising to me that it went to 8.5, given that it's Bailey Falter and Martin Perez. And if you look at just their analytics and their StatCast information, Bailey Falter last year, 3.86 ERA. Martin Perez last year, 2.89 ERA. But you look at their expected ERA, 4.62 ERA for Bailey Falter. And Martin Perez, again, another run higher, 3.59. I mean, Jose, you referenced Martin Perez in the years before. You saw the exact same kind of thing. His ERA, even though it was still high, his expected ERA was higher. And I kind of feel like I'm seeing something similar to you. Like you kind of wait for the other shoe to drop, but it's not like you see Martin Perez get into trouble and then just always works out of it. Like you saw a lot with Waka last year, and you saw a lot with Jose Quintana last year. This is much more of a guy that legitimately will shut you down and then have a really bad start. Shut guys down, really bad start. What are we getting today? I don't know, but one of the stats that really led me to the over last year, left-handed pitchers away, Phillies number 1 in OPS, 808 with their OPS, 449 slug, 165 ISO, 127 weighted runs created plus. So obviously there are some guys in that Phillies lineup, Hoskins being one of them, who's no longer there, but some righties in that lineup that can absolutely mash. And I do like that over, and I am going to take it. Falter, expecting him to not be what others might think him to be that set the line. And I'm also expecting that the Phillies lineup will be able to hit lefties, even though there is no Hoskins. I do expect them to still come out, be able to hit their lefties. They do have some really good, strong right-handed bats, and the series has already trended over. So give me the over. Both bullpens have huge question marks, so full game over for me at 8.5.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, and I've been getting murdered betting unders so far this season, so I could easily see why you like the over there. And by the way, fucking comment of the day for Johnny Guns. It's hilarious. I don't even remember this. I was probably shitting all over Martin Perez because I saw him pitch for the Red Sox. He was horrible. And now I love him because he pitched well for my country. So that's amazing. It's amazing what will happen when your guy just performs for your country. Like the shortstop that plays for Philadelphia, that's everyone's favorite player now. And that's just how that goes. Shout out to my guy, Martin Perez. I fucking love him. Let's move on here and let's start this little recap. Moose Money. Again, Moose, thank you for joining me. I know it's early as fuck on the West Coast, and I know you had a great night partying some San Diego Aztecs. Well, by the way, I didn't know you were an Aztecs guy. It makes sense because San Diego. Damon Santori, also Aztecs guy. I lost a stake bet to Damon Santori because I guess I couldn't call him an alleged rapist anymore because he got off for that. But the team where you guys had the punter that was really good, I watched them get their ass, or watch UTSA get their ass kicked by them. So shout out to San Diego State. I respect them. And maybe you and Damon Santori need to hook up and watch this basketball game together because I'd be very interested to see that dynamic.
Yeah, we went to the Snell game last year against the Cardinals when he had like the 12 strikeouts last year. We were at that game together. It was I mean, it's always good to meet up with anybody in the pub sports fam because it is a family out here. I mean, obviously you guys just got done with Pubapalooza. Those things don't happen. These relationships don't exist if there's not people that genuinely care about each other. Whether you're on a panel talking, capping a game, or if you're in the chat, there's absolute respect, admiration across the board. So if there's anybody in the area, you're here for a visit, you live around the area, don't be afraid to hit me up, man. I am down to grab a beer, watch a game or anything like that, maybe even cash some live bets. So it's a family, man. It's a family.
It absolutely is, and we need to get Pubapalooza on spring break so we can see your smiling face.
Next week, spring break. Let's go. Next week, spring break.
Next week for you? Yes. Oh my God. It happened it literally happens at like around the end of March in Texas.
there you go. Johnny's an Esco. All right. Hey, let's do it.
There you go. See, this is what this show is all about. We want to make the connection, get our fucking low bag and all of our Pub Sports Radio heads together. So I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see Johnny Guns and Moose Money hanging out in Escondido.
Escondido.
It looks like Escondido. It looks like Escadildo, I'll be honest, but whatever. And JP's also going to hang out with you this summer as well.
Yeah,
let's bring your dog on too. I can't wait.
He's been such a good boy. He's just like, you have to do things right.
This is the best part of the show. I love the dog. And again, sorry, I'm going to apologize to Kyle Hitley every time I cuss now. In perpetuity. Moose, we haven't run this in a long time, but I think it's time. Let's review our actions because I want to see if you've got a little moose call coming for us. I forgot that I did the audio for that. I completely forgot that's me in the background. I completely forgot about that, so that makes me cringe. Moose, what are you on today? What's your action today?
All right, let me pull out my handy dandy notepad that hasn't hopefully deleted because that's how the show started. So fitting that shows how the show is going to end.
Yeah, again, that would kill me.
Yeah, Red Sox team total over 4.5, first 5. Red Sox run line, first 5. Red Sox team total over. Mets on their money line, on their run line. And I will also very likely be on the first 5 as well as I kind of go through some of my notes here. Astros team total ladder, 4.5 all the way up to 5.5. I'll also be on them potentially first 5. And there might be, let me do this. You know what my moose call is going to be? I'm going to make it a little parlay day because I don't really do too many parlays. But this one I was thinking about last night, and I think I'm going to do it today. We're going to go with a Astros and Angels money line parlay. So that's going to be my moose call right there. So I'm going to bet that here in just a little bit because I do really like that. I wanted to figure out a way to get on the Astros, and parlay seems like a good way. And then I'm also going to be on the Cardinals big, and I'll be on the Angels team total, Rockies, Padres over 8, and I'm on the Phillies and the Rangers over 8.5.
All right, beautiful Moose Money. Thank you so much for your plays.
Yeah, volume. It's all about volume. Got to make sure I'm hitting at about that 55-60%. So
yeah, I wanted to cut my volume down today, but it seems like I've unsuccessfully done that. So while you were recapping your plays, I was inside of my own mental struggles there for my Minnesota Twins play. And Moose, you will hear me scream if the Minnesota Twins do not win the first 5 and they win the team total bet. That you will hear me yell bloody murder. It'll be worse than the shortstop that plays for Philadelphia's home run in the WBC. It'll be almost as bad. I'm on Minnesota first 5 money line, or first 5 minus a half. I should say minus 110. The team total over 4.5 is juiced, and I don't want to take a 5. So Joe Ryan, handle that wind, my man. Handle that wind. 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out. Handle that freaking wind. Sorry, Kyle Hitley. Shout out to picks from Dave, who was there when the home run happened and kept me from throwing myself through a window. Say hey minute play. Milwaukee money line plus 105. Baltimore team total over 4 minus 110 there, fading my Red Sox and Tanner Houck. Cincinnati first 5 minus a half minus 105. I'm going to follow, I think Moose, I don't know if you were on it, but you talked me into it. Houston minus 1 minus 106. Like I mentioned during that breakdown, I think I'm going to end up probably betting Houston minus 1 a lot. They're a good ball club. Who would have thought? And then shout out to my guy, Rocco Rogers, Arizona Diamondbacks, Los Angeles Dodgers, first 5 over 4.5 minus 120. I am tailing him, and it will be the first time I tail someone from the chat, and it'll be a fun evening. Again, everyone, thank you guys for watching. I know this is kind of a long show. These Sunday cards will kind of be a little longer, and I like having the rotations of guests because I can also talk to them and make things a little more fun for everyone as well. Shout out to you, my guy, Moose Money. And again, shout out to the chat, Rogue Energy. Shout out to my guy, Roger, the DR Zone. Shout out to you, my man. Hope the Bronx and BKN is all keeping you right today. Make America great again. Andrew G. I can't run the Moose promo again, Andrew. It's got to be when he comes on, you know. Got to keep the people wanting, as they say here. Picks from Dave. Hope you're doing something tonight, some live stream. We're not doing one, so you should definitely do one. Get in there, Dave. Swiss Horton, Andrew G, Abel A, JPZ, Nunya, Justin McElvey, Johnny Guns, Banana Boat Float, who is now just Banana Boat. Shout out to you, Banana Boat. Shout out to you, my man. Abel A, all you guys, we appreciate it. Cheshire Cat, Kyle Hintlian, who has not commented for a while, so I assume he's not watching, but I apologize for cussing again, my man. I will, that'll be the thing going forward. I will do my best not to cuss on this program, and every time I do, I will
wow, that's going to be a failure.
It probably will be, but I will apologize to my man, Kyle Hintlian, when I do so. It's going to be a fun day of baseball today. Obviously, a slow start to the season, 4-11, -7 units, but that is okay because there's so many days in this program. And we know how this game and this season goes. Ups and downs, peaks and valleys. We'll make our runs. I'm a streaky gambler, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Moose, where can the people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Moose Money Bets. One thing I will always be telling people every time I'm on any show is do not hesitate to reach out, whether it's about the MLB cap or if there's something about baseball, whether it's a coaching thing or just a, hey, did you see what happened in this game the other day? I love talking baseball. You'll find me on a bunch of different platforms talking baseball. It's one of the best parts of my day is being able to talk to everybody and talk to the people that are passionate about this sport, passionate about the sport that I love to the purest parts of my heart. Been playing it my entire life, been coaching it for the last 15 years. My gosh, I can't believe I just said that. And have coached it. I know, I'm getting older, man. I'm getting older. And I've coached it at a high level. I have my own throwing program. I am a pitching coach. So if there's an angle that you want for pitchers, there's plenty of people on here. Sharpie,
I thought you were offering lessons. I thought you were offering lessons.
I can do lessons, dude. I just had a guy from Korea reach out and say, "Hey, can I send you a bunch of videos and have you do some breakdowns and analysis of it?" It's like, yeah, send them on over. So I'm not opposed to it. I mean, I don't really know what I'll be able to tell from just one video angle, but I absolutely do know the kinetic chain and how things are supposed to sequence and some of the universal truths that are part of pitching. So if you have any questions like that, hit me up on Twitter at Moose Money Bets.
Beautiful. Moose, my man, you definitely have to get out to San Antonio sometime soon, and definitely Dallas, because the people want. I think it was Cab that told me this the other day. The people want a baseball game, a PSR baseball game, and you two as the captains would just be fucking hilarious. We'd have some torn ACLs out there. It would be a no-hitter from both of you guys, and it would be fun. It would be fun.
Not a lot of runs. Take the under.
Not a lot of runs. Not a lot of runs in that game.
Take the K-props over and ladder it, and then take the under, and you can juice the under down.
Exactly. Yes, that would be the bet in those games. Thanks, everyone, for watching, guys. We'll be back again here tomorrow. I've got the Spin Doc joining me tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. So he'll be joining me every Monday as well, giving us all of his data analytics and all that good stuff, what he does, because he's a much different capper than I am. Shout out to mathematics. I am not a mathematics guy, Moose, as you can tell. I hope, by the way, Moose, I hope that your children call you Mr. Moose as well. I will be calling you.
Not.
I will be calling you Mr. Moose, and I hope that you enjoy it very much. Mr. Moose, I appreciate you for joining us. I hope that we can do this again. You'll obviously be in the rotation of Sunday guests, and I hope to see you on some live streams too. We miss you. We miss seeing your smiling face.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Of course. I love being around here.
All right, beautiful. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Say hey to everyone. Join the Pub Members Club today. Hit the like on your way out. We'll see you guys next time.